Player 2 has joined the game.
Hey, yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome to episode 180 of the Two Player Co-op Podcast. As always, I'm one of your hosts here, Kevin, along with my brother from my mother, Sean.
How we doing?
If you're watching, it'll all make sense in a minute. If this is the first time you're seeing us, I'm not usually like this, but if it is the first time you're seeing us, this is the Two Player Co-op Podcast, where just about every week, two brothers get together to tell you everything you need to know about in the world of video games. If you like that, make sure you hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, share the video with your friends, family, and everyone in between. If you really like us, you can go to patreon.com/2playercoop, just like our producers, Steve Appleton, Aunt Sue, and Vernon Slayton did, as well as our affiliates, Logan Wilkinson and James Solar. I don't know why I need to look at the notes. I should have this memorized by now.
Loken?
I didn't mean to. It's probably the mask.
I think you call them Loken.
Well, I'm Loken pretty crazy right now, and I feel kind of hot, so we're going to get through this. If you're listening on audio and I sound weird, just give me about another minute, and it'll all make sense.
You sound pretty normal, honestly.
Okay, good. I don't feel normal. I feel very hot. And then when I breathe in, it's like, it just all sucks in. It's very weird. If you like merch, I've got this awesome NBA Jam t-shirt on, which is one of my favorites. But if you want to get a two-player co-op t-shirt, you can go to teespring.com/stores/2playercoop. And whenever we start twitching again, it will be at twitch.tv/2player_coop. We put up on Monday of this week, we did a 2+ hour Final Fantasy VII spoiler cast. If you haven't seen it yet in your feeds, make sure you check it out. We would really appreciate that. It was me and Sean and our friend Jason, who's on the podcast for the first time in like 2.5 years. We love Jason. Sean and Jason are the Final Fantasy VII veterans, Final Fantasy overall veterans, really. And I'm the newbie. So we went through the ending. We kind of gave our full review thoughts without having to worry about spoilers and everything. We talked about what we think the ending means, what we think. And I've watched a lot of videos since then. Sean blew my mind. When you get to that moment in the video or the podcast, I'm just like, holy crap. Like, I kind of got some of it. I'm not going to get into any spoilers here. I kind of got some of it playing through the game, but then hearing Sean actually say it, I was like, oh my God. And I watched 3 or 4 spoiler or like ending explained videos today. And I cannot wait for the remake.
Did
Sean
they all
also
kind of agree with what I said? Because I'd only really watched one.
Yes.
And I just took it and ran with it. But I assume most people that are doing these are probably saying similar things.
There's, without getting into spoilers, there's some... The character that I didn't know was a character, you know? From, he has darker hair. Are you there?
Me? Yeah, I thought you were talking to the people.
No, I was talking to you. I was trying to just tell you in code.
Okay.
There's a
yes,
debate.
I know what you're talking about.
There's a debate on whether or not his fate might actually be the same as it was. But I think it's pretty clear that it's the opposite of what happened before. So there's a big debate about that, but I think I think they're pretty clear in what they're setting up. And I'm more excited for part 2, 3, 4, whatever ends up coming of this remake than I was even before I played this. I don't know if everybody will share that, but Sean is the same as me. And I think Jason was too. We're all super stoked for whatever comes next, no matter what changes. So go ahead and check that out if you haven't already. Only if you've beaten the game, obviously, or if you don't care about spoilers, because it is a spoiler cast, and that would tell you that there are spoilers in that. So, if you're watching on YouTube,
without further ado,
if you're watching on YouTube, a couple days ago I posted a tweet because I was bored, and Sean, I had asked him for some research. The reason I didn't do one of your options, Sean, is because I thought that would have won, and there was no way I could, like, I feel like I need like a straight razor to make that work, you know? The Tony Stark. There was just no, I'm not skilled enough to even, and my facial hair was not good enough to try and make that happen.
No, yeah, that you need it to be pretty thick to pull that off.
Yeah. So what I tweeted the other day was, if you've watched the podcast the last few weeks, you know this whole beard growing thing is going about as well as I thought it would. ... So let's have some fun with what I turn this beard, quote unquote, into next. What should I do next? And the options were Mover Scott. Mom said she wasn't the one person that voted for Mover Scott. So whoever voted for Mover Scott, thank you. Mover Scott, Tom Selleck, Paul Sr. from American Choppers, and Diesel / Kevin Nash. So I asked Sean earlier, when I was
good. Who did Mom vote for?
She didn't even vote. She didn't see my tweet. I'm like, thanks, Mom. Thanks for supporting the podcast. Patreon.com/2playercoop.
You know who I bet did vote?
Who?
Aunt Sue.
She probably. Oh, that's the Mover Scott.
Oh yeah, there you go. She probably voted for Mover.
She's
Scott.
the Mover Scott. So thank you, Aunt Sue. And there's a subsequent tweet that if you don't know who any of these people are, I mean, I think everybody knows who Tom Selleck is. I think most people that follow us at least know who Kevin Nash is. Maybe Paul Sr., probably not Mover Scott, but I couldn't think of another just like beard, facial hair, or chin facial hair guy. So the results of the poll were Mover Scott got 6%. Diesel / Kevin Nash got 19%. Paul Sr. got 31%. And the winner of the poll was Tom Selleck at 44%. So that means against, and poor Salamander, I know. He was like 6 inches long. And it was horrible. Oh, does that ever happen to you? Has that ever happened to you? Like something random where you're like, oh my God, I didn't even know. And then.
So the other day, no, well, maybe, but the other day, we've got, it was probably a couple weeks ago now. We have some drainage issues in our backyard.
Yeah.
And so we put in a little like French drain thing. So there's this little catch basin in the backyard with a little grate over it. And then it kind of lets out the front yard. But we had a lot of standing water, so I went out to see if maybe the thing was clogged, and it was covered a little bit with just like grass clippings and crap. So I was like pulling stuff off it and just, to uncover it. And I'm pulling up clumps of grass and throwing it, and then I pull up this thing that I'm like, it felt like a rock. I'm like, oh, I hope this isn't dog crap. And I just kind of blink, like flung. It's right by the fence. I just kind of like flung it against the fence, and it just went thud. And then I looked down, and I realized that what I threw was a little toad, and he was alive.
Oh,
but he was like,
"Oh my God, you just
like, what just happened?" And it's not like I whipped him at the fence. I just kind of like grabbed him and I was just like a little boop, just kind of like tossed it. But the poor thing, I was like, I picked him up and I was like, stroking his little head and stuff. Yeah. And he was like blinking. Like, I think he was fine. I think he was just like, what just happened? But,
so after you brought back the lawnmower, we had a dead frog or toad. I couldn't tell because it was like decayed, just randomly sitting in the driveway. I was like, oh man, that probably got mowed over. And it was like stuck to the blade or something. Because I've had that happen when I've cut the grass before, and it's just horrible. But
gross.
Yeah, we should do a separate podcast. On that note, without further ado, you guys, at least some of y'all, this is the moment you've been waiting for. You voted for Tom Selleck. I'm also I'm really thirsty right now because obviously I can't drink with this thing on. By the way, you should take every precaution necessary if you're going out into public. This is my actual mask. By the way, Sean, I ordered a mask. I don't know how long it'll take to get here with a respirator and stuff. And do you want to know what the face of it is?
Bane.
Oh, damn it.
I don't know.
It's a NES controller.
Really?
But anyways,
we should sell 2-player co-op masks.
I'm sure.
Can we make those through Teespring?
I'm sure Teespring has them by now. But without further ado, y'all wanted Tom Selleck. You get my version of Tom Selleck. If you're listening on audio services, please go over to youtube.com/2playercoop. Like, subscribe, share, all that other stuff. And now I'm going to look at the computer so I can see Sean's reaction because he has not seen this yet. He's seeing it when you see it. I mean, 2 days earlier, but you know what I mean. You wanted to see Tom Selleck? This is what you get.
You look like You look like Lalo.
I do look like Lalo a little bit.
I think the absence of the rest of it makes the
Makes it like
mustache
so much more pronounced.
yes, like you look like Ned Flanders.
Should I do the zoom in?
Yes.
All right, we're gonna zoom in. It looks way better when you're far away, like it is right now. But let's
Or
zoom in.
you look like Mario.
Oh, you want to know what Casey said before he went to bed? He's like, "Dad, when you showed me that, I thought it was a Mario stick-on mustache." And Eliza, when she saw it, she said, "Ah, Dad, your mustache is so pretty." I was like, "Thank you, Eliza." So you should be at youtube.com/2player-co-op. This is it in all its majesty.
I'm saying it's a good mustache.
It's
not a good look for you.
It's not
but
good.
It's a good mustache.
It's horrible. Like I said, Jess, when she saw it, she was like, "What the hell is that? No, you have got to fix that right now." So this is the only time you're going to see me like this. I will say,
for some reason, like I saw you with your beard, and so I'm picturing that, and then just minus all this. And so it's like, I feel like I know what to expect, but then it still looks different than I expected.
no, it looks I look like a villain in a Broadway musical from the 1940s or something.
Like you're going to tie somebody to the train tracks or something.
It looks way better from far away. When I'm like, the funny thing was, so I took because I bought the clippers for the boys, and it's got like different guards you can put on. So first I was like, I had to clip everything down so I could actually shave it. And I was just like, zzz, zzz. And I was like, I'll shave down from there. But then I noticed there was a couple that went bing, 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 bing. So I had to kind of cut those down and shave around it. And yeah, this is it. This will be the only time you see me like this. My wife will divorce me if I keep this more than tonight, probably. But what I am going to do before I shave it off, I'm going to put like one of the guards on the trimmers and try to trim it like I think it was Derek that said on the podcast last week. And I was like, yeah, I have a trimmer. However, I feel like if I trim anything off, there's going to be nothing left. So we're going to see what that looks like. But I hope you guys enjoy this mustache in all its glory. And I definitely need a beard because I cannot believe I'm on this podcast with just a full-blown mustache.
I like it.
The one thing it did make me think of, because of a video that posted this week 3 years ago, it made me think, where's Bob Mackey when you need him to call me Pube Stash, is what I thought of. So with that out of the way, you're probably all going to be very distracted. I'm guessing Sean's going to randomly laugh at a few points during this podcast.
Probably.
But that's the mustache. I hope you enjoy it. It's going to be gone next week. I can't. What I probably will do, though, I think I'm still going to go try to grow something out. I think it will just end up being this thing here, because that never looked too horrible. If I actually try to take care of it, this lip hair thing, if you're on audio services.
And only that?
I think so. Maybe maybe I'll go with a mover, Scott. I really was hoping Paul Sr. was going to win.
That's what I voted for.
If I'm being honest, I was hoping Paul Sr. was going to win. So maybe I just shave it all off, start growing it out again, and turn it into a Paul
See, I
Sr.
couldn't do that because it doesn't really like.
Well, but mine doesn't connect.
Do the mustache, but I wouldn't be able to continue it down. Like I don't know.
Mine doesn't connect either. However, these hairs, like there's a gap right here on each side. One's a little bit lower than the other, which makes it even more funny. But if I let those get longer and just kind of like comb them down or something, I think I could make it into a Paul Sr. But the funny thing with Paul Sr. is he doesn't just go here like Hogan. He goes down the way to like here. And that's why I did Paul Sr. instead of Hogan. Also, Paul Sr. is a lot less controversial than Hogan at this point for many other reasons. But yeah, enjoy the mustache. I hope you're all happy. What is Wario saying? If you have a Wii U or a 3DS in certain Latin America and Caribbean countries, you will no longer be able to redeem download codes, re-download software, or update your software on July 31st, 2020. So there's that. What do I got next here? So this just broke today. I think we're going to start trying to just record on Monday nights. For the most part, we were trying to record on Sundays. It gave me 2 days to edit the podcast, get it ready to go up. But honestly, at this point, we're all working from home. I can edit the podcast when I'm home on Tuesday and get it up on Wednesday. Sometimes it'll go up on Tuesdays. You never know. We don't really have that much of a schedule. But I think the schedule going forward is we're going to try to record on Mondays. The main reason is for the next 3 weeks, I don't want to record on Sundays anyways because the MJ documentary, The Last Dance, which is phenomenal. If you're not watching it and you care anything about sports, you should be watching it. But recording on Mondays, it seems like every week something happens on Mondays that if we recorded on Sunday, we were missing and we'd be a week and a half basically by the time the podcast posts the next week. And there was something that just broke today. Last week, it was a Mario Maker update, which we'll get to here in a minute. But what happened today was Sony randomly tweeted out, hey, The Last of Us Part 2 is out June 19th. So we were both wrong. Luckily, I'm glad we're wrong because I want to play this game. I don't want to play it on my PS5. I want to play it as soon as I can. The Last of Us Part 2 is out June 19th. Ghost of Tsushima was delayed. I believe it's 3 weeks to July 17th. But another part of this, Naughty Dog tweeted this. Have you seen all this? I haven't been spoiled yet, but have you seen everything going on?
I'm trying to stay away. I know what's going on, but I'm trying to just be very safe and stay away from it all.
Naughty Dog tweeted out, we know the last few days have been incredibly difficult for you. We feel the same. It's disappointing to see the release and sharing of pre-release footage from development. Do your best to avoid spoilers, and we ask that you don't spoil it for others. The Last of Us Part 2 will be in your hands soon. No matter what you see and hear, the final experience will be worth it. So luckily, I think all this was on Reddit. I'm sure people have been tweeting about it, but it's none of the accounts that I follow. Nobody at IGN or VGC or probably even, God forbid, VG247. Even those sites, I don't think they would post what the spoilers are. But apparently what happened is an ex-developer at Naughty Dog was mad about his wages or something and was so mad about it that he tweeted out story spoilers for The Last of Us Part 2. I don't know how detailed they are, and I don't know if it's like an overall view of the story. Luckily, I haven't seen anything. Because again, if you've been listening to us for a while, you know that I had The Last of Us Part 1 spoiled for me way before I played it. I didn't play it until 2014 when it came out on PS4, and by then I already knew the ending. The one thing that I didn't have spoiled for me, I did when they did the launch trailer for the remastered. I'll just say, in case you haven't played it, the emotional moment in the first 20, 30 minutes, I didn't have that spoiled until about a week before I played the stupid game, which was even more annoying. But yeah, apparently this ex-developer at Naughty Dog hates the culture or Neil or the higher-ups or something and was like, screw you guys, I'm going to leak all this stuff, including gameplay footage. I assume there's cutscenes. I don't know. If you know what it is, do not comment on this video or podcast. You'll be banned forever, and I'm not even joking when I say that. Yeah, like this game, to me, first off, I'm so happy it's coming in June. I'm so glad we were wrong. Like I think we both were kind of resigned to the fact that it wasn't going to be out until like November on the PS5 and PS4, that they were going to Twilight Princess or Breath of the Wild it. I'm glad we were wrong. I'm glad the delay ends up being basically 4 weeks and not 4 or 5 months. But The Last of Us is, I think what Naughty Dog has always been the best at is their storytelling, not their gameplay. So if I were to go into this, which I'm assuming and hoping will be the last of Us game, if I were to have anything spoiled for me, I would be sad, but incredibly angry as well. Like, basically what I'm saying is I think you play Naughty Dog games for the story, for the lore, for connecting to previous games in the series, no matter what it is. And if that was spoiled for me, I would lose my freaking mind. Sean, you got any thoughts on The Last of Us 2, the leaks, all that other stuff?
No, I mean, it sucks. I don't think anybody I follow is going to tweet anything or retweet anything or hopefully even like anything that could then somehow pop up on my feed. So
Yeah.
it's just one of those things where, like, anytime I see a story about it, I'm not going to read replies to it. I'm not going to, you just stay away. Luckily, it's coming out in June, and it's,
Yeah.
we only have to avoid spoilers for another 7 or 8 weeks and not
Yep.
6 months or something. So, I don't know. I think it's lame, but
So if
what are you gonna
I'm right, I think The Last of Us came out. So I think this is the week after non-E3. The Last of Us on PS3 came out the week of E3. So there's a symmetry there. I don't really care about Ghost of Tsushima. Like like we said for the last 2-3 weeks, whatever it was since Last of Us got delayed. I've said all along, and I think you agreed with me, there's no way Ghost isn't getting delayed as well. It did. I think the game's probably ready. But obviously Sony's not stupid. There was like an Amazon leak a couple of weeks ago that was like, oh, The Last of Us has been listed as coming out June 26th, the same day as Ghost of Tsushima. And I'm like, why would you even, I get that you need the clicks, but like, there is no company on earth that is so stupid as to put out their last 2 flagship this gen games on the same day. It's ridiculous. So whether Ghost of Tsushima needed to be delayed, whether they had, manufacturing delays with discs or anything, I said, like, if The Last of Us is getting delayed, this getting delayed too. And we ended up being right.
Yeah. I mean, I'm definitely more interested in Last of Us. Ghost of Tsushima, I don't know. I haven't just given up on it. It's the kind of thing that I'll read reviews and stuff, and if it sounds like I can't miss it, then yeah, I might still pick it up. But at this point, I don't know. I'm not terribly interested.
Yeah, if it's like a 95 on Metacritic or something, then I'll be like, oh, because I was kind of that way. Like, I mean, Horizon only ended up being an 89 on Metacritic, which is odd to me because I think that game should have been mid 90s. But Horizon was one of those games I was always interested in, but then it had the unluckiness of coming out a week before Breath of the Wild did. So I was like, I kind of want to play this game, but I'm not going to not play Breath of the Wild. 89 on Metacritic, but a lot of the reviews I was reading was mid 9s to upper 9s. And I was like, okay, so I need to play this game. And Colin and Greg back, that was right. The funny thing, that was right before everything hit the fan. It kind of funny. Were just saying it was possibly, at that point, I think they both said it was the best PS4 exclusive. Greg has switched to God of War. Colin wasn't as high on God of War. But anyways, I wasn't as interested in Horizon until the reviews hit and everything. So it's kind of the same thing with this. Like, Ghost sounds cool, but it's not like a day one thing for me. Obviously, I'll be I'll be long done with Last of Us Part 2 in the 3 weeks before Ghost comes out. But I don't know. Do we want to? I'm just going to say this on the air. Do we want to replay Last of Us and do a spoiler cast to get ready for this?
I don't know. I tried I have no idea. I would guess maybe a year or so ago. And I don't know. It's not like it's a bad game. I really liked it, but man, I just couldn't get into it the second time around. And that's my complaint about a lot of games these days. Like,
The replay, yeah.
I tried playing God of War again and I couldn't. I tried playing Last of Us again. I couldn't. I've never even bothered try playing Breath of the Wild again. Or
Yeah.
Metal Gear Solid 5. Or there's so many games that I'm just like, okay, I beat it. I'm done with it. And that's it. The one that I can think of that was an exception. Well, I guess there's been a few, but like Spider-Man, I beat and then I played through it again, mainly to get the platinum. But
did you end up beating it? I can't remember. The second time? Okay.
Yeah. And like I've played Resident Evil 2 a couple times. I'll probably play 3 again, but so many of the games these days, I'm like, no matter how, I don't know that I'll play through. I'll probably play through Final Fantasy again.
Yeah, you will, but before the second one comes out.
Before, yeah, that'll be an exception. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know that I will. I think it'd be a cool thing to do. I mean, if you want to do it, I think it's content. But I don't know. Last time I tried, I played for like an hour or two and stopped, and then never picked it back up.
I think I definitely want to play through it again because I remember the two big moments, along with like the giraffe and a lot of what happens in winter, because that's so disturbing. I'm definitely going to play through it again. I'm not going to say you have to, but if you feel like you want to play through it again, we play through it at the same time, then I think we do a spoiler cast, but I'm fine either way.
Yeah.
We did get a podcast question from James Solar. You might have put this up last week and I just didn't see it. If you did, I'm sorry. But James writes in and he says, God of War / PS Now. There are 6 God of War games on PS Now that I've never played, which means all of them except 2018. What order should I play them? They are God of War HD 2, 3, and Remastered, Chains of Olympus, Ghost of Sparta, and Ascension. So essentially that's every God of War game before 2018. So let me look up the chronology here. Oops, that's my back. Do you have a back of the box?
No, I could probably get one. Let me think about
it. What the hell? It's gone. It's gone, Jerry. Gone. Oh, there it is. Okay, so the chronology is this. It goes Ascension, Chains of Olympus, God of War, Ghost of Sparta, 2, 3, 2018. This is kind of like when people ask, like, what should you do? Now, by the way, I screwed this up with my kids before The Force Awakens comes out. I had them watch Star Wars 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. What you should do is 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 6, and then watch The Force Awakens. I screwed that up. I don't know what I was thinking. They were little kids, so who cares? What I think you should do is I think you should play God of War 1. Now, what you should play next, you should either play this next or skip it, is Ascension, because Ascension, like I just said, is the earliest in the chronology. But then I do think you should play Chains of Olympus. I don't know why I put a T on there. Chains of Olympus. It's a mustache talking. Chains of Olympus. Ghost of Sparta, which I think, like, the story in that and everything is so freaking good. That deserved its own PS2 or PS3 release. I say to this day, I love Ghost of Sparta. I don't think you've ever played through it, right, Sean?
I've only played the 3 mainline games.
So this would be you play God of War 1, so you see who Kratos is, what made him Kratos and everything. And then you go back, you either skip Ascension, which I think it's fine. But at that point, everybody was sick of God of War or whatever. It's like a solid, it's not a bad game. It's just more God of War. It's like a 7.5 to me. So God of War, either play Ascension, because that's the first in the chronology, or skip it and then play Chains of Olympus, Ghost of Sparta, 2 and 3. Because I think 1 kind of does what 4 and 5 did in Star Wars. It sets up who these characters are, why they're the way they are, and everything. And then you can go back and kind of see what came before the events that happened in God of War 1. Then play 2, because 2 leads directly, like literally directly into 3. And then that's the end of the story before you get to God of War 2018. So that's my answer. You agree, Sean?
I mean, I don't know what any of the games are. But yes, that's the age-old debate of, do you go chronologically story-wise, chronologically of release? Do you just make your own path?
This is the problem with prequels in general when it comes to either, like, if you were going to tell somebody right now that hasn't watched Breaking Bad or Better Call Saul, what would you tell them to watch first? Obviously, Better Call Saul's got one more season. Hopefully it comes out next fall. But what would you tell them? I still think
in general, Star Wars may be the exception. I don't know. I think in general, prequels are done. Prequels don't work. What am I trying to say?
Almost all the time.
Well, prequels don't work, you know, in a vacuum, like by themselves. Like Star Wars 1, 2, 3 would not have been made if not for 4, 5, 6. And I know that's an obvious statement, but like just because that's the order of the story, it still came after. You still need to watch, you know, the source material. Like, why is this prequel a thing? So now I do think it's a cool idea to go 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 6. I get that. But in general, you should absolutely go 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3 before you should do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Yeah.
So
Either way, I screwed up.
I tend to say go in release order. Now there may be some exceptions to the rule.
So if you go release order, and I don't have this, let me see if this website has it. Hold on, give me a second. Oh,
I got it back in the box, by the way.
Okay, good. Well, crap. I don't know. I think the release order was 1, 2, Chains of Olympus. When did the PSP come out? I think it was 05.
Is it that long ago?
I'm trying to think. I know the Vita was 2011 in Japan. I think it was 2012 here. Yeah, so I don't even know what the release order is. I think it was God of War 1, Chains of Olympus, 2, Ghost of Sparta, 3. I know it was 3 and then Ascension and then 2018. But God of War is the one thing I don't think that's the one thing I don't think you should play it through in release order, which can get kind of tricky when it comes to the actual gameplay. But I would say, like I said, 1, either do Ascension or skip it. I think it's a fine game. It's fine because there's also, they talk about Demos, who plays into Ghost of Sparta. That's the one thing I remember from Ascension. But I would go 1, either play Ascension or skip it. Chains of Olympus, Ghost of Sparta, 2, 3. Because you have to go. You agree with me? You have to go 2, 3 because it's almost like they had one giant game and they're like, we'll just end it here, and then we'll pick up literally exactly 3 picks up. If you don't know this, and if you don't, just don't Google spoilers. 3 picks up literally right where 2 ends. Like no time passes, except the graphics get so much better from the 2 to the PS2 to the PS3. So that's what I would say. Sean.
Yes.
What have you been playing this week?
I've been playing some Mario Maker,
which
we'll get into.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been playing a lot of Final Fantasy VII Original.
So how far are you now? Did you end up beating it?
I'm to the point where I could beat it.
Okay.
But I don't want to yet. I kind of want to. I haven't yet. I know I can't get the platinum on this playthrough. And I'm also kind of, since I know I can't, I haven't even bothered looking at trophies.
Wait,
yet.
are you talking about the original? Okay.
So since I know I can't get it on this playthrough, I'm not too concerned with looking at trophies yet. I kind of want to just max everybody out. I've got all the ultimate weapons, all the final limit breaks. I did all that. I'm trying to get everybody to 99 now. I want to beat Ruby and Emerald, so I want to just do all that stuff, and then I'll probably take a look at trophies and see what all is left and see if it's worth. Because at the very least, I need to start over again because I wasn't thinking, and I tend to do this a lot, but even though I knew it was a thing, I just blasted right through Gold Saucer, which is where you go on the dates, and if you make certain choices in the game up to that point, you can go on a date with Barrett. And I know at the very least there's a trophy for that.
I think there's
I
a
don't know if,
trophy for all the dates, but I'm looking that up now.
but see, it's the kind of thing that you can't even like save right before because it's
Yeah.
the choices you make from the beginning of the game will affect it. So it's almost like you need to start. I don't know.
Actually, it looks like the only trophy is for Barrett.
Okay, because you need to do very specific things. Like you need to go out of your way to make that happen. It's pretty realistic that you can go on the date with either Aerith or Tifa, depending on just how you play it. But in order for it to be Barrett, you need to play it in some weird ways and make sure you don't talk to these people and make sure you answer this thing this certain way, stuff like that. So I know at the very least I've missed that. I need to go back and get it. So um, even if I don't get the platinum, I just kind of want to say that I've done everything. I've still never beaten Ruby and Emerald, so I'm going to try to do that. And
Well, if you can do that, you're going to get this platinum. I'll try to chat it to you here. It seems like the platinum is very doable. You have to get everybody's limit break, which seems like that would be pretty easy.
I feel like I've already done that. I mean, I have done that. I don't remember a trophy popping though, unless maybe I've done that in a previous playthrough.
Maybe, yeah. You have to beat Diamond, you have to beat Ruby and Emerald. And Master Summon Materia seems like that's kind of rare.
That one's tough. It's
Okay.
not tough. It just takes a lot of work. Well, a lot of time.
Yeah, I think you could definitely do this. When I'm just going through this, yeah. Oh, you have to get 99,999,999 gil. So I don't know if that means at once or total. Let me click the trophy.
Holy crap. I'm at like 500,000. I'm sure there's a way to get gil.
Yeah, you can
fast.
go to the ancient forest. Get clouds, something weapon.
Apocalypse.
Triple growth weapon is miserable. So at that site, you can click on every individual trophy. Yeah, it looks like you just have to grind. But I mean, you got the platinum and freaking what's it called?
Blood stained.
Yeah, blood stained. So I think you could definitely get that. I feel like this is like for you, this is me getting the platinum in Metal Gear Solid 3. Like I just feel like there's a platinum available. You can get this. Remake, I think it's just wait. I cannot imagine playing that game on hard. So I don't think you should even stress yourself out with that. But I think you can definitely get the platinum on actual Final Fantasy VII.
Yeah. I don't know. I'll probably do it. We'll see.
Did you go back to Remake at all?
No.
Okay. If you didn't catch the spoiler cast, all I've played is Final Fantasy VII. I beat the remake. I did a little bit of Final Fantasy VII regular. I didn't play anymore since we podcasted the other day. I'm as far as I've ever gotten in that game, about 45 minutes in on the train, going to the second bombing run. I don't know. I feel like I am missing something because I just don't like turn-based gameplay. Like, I think that like Jason brought up, he had some issues with the combat in Final Fantasy VII Remake. And I do too, mostly because what I've heard you talk about in the past with Final Fantasy 12, when it comes to the Gambit system, I feel like this game was begging for a Gambit system, you know?
Yeah.
It feels like the only thing that's close to that is just doing the auto cure with, I think it's Tifa, right?
It's whoever you want. But
Okay. I think I had it set to Tifa all the time because
yeah,
she was there a lot. But like, I feel like this game was begging for a Gambit system.
Yeah, the AI is pretty
horrible,
not good.
Yeah, I mean, but overall, I love the remake battle system so much more than the original. I know Mr. Slayton, I know you sent us Persona 5. I kind of want to try that just because, but like I have never, ever been good or even liked. I feel like I feel like at this point it's like it's in my head. Like I don't even know that I could play Super Mario RPG at this point, dude. Like
It's possible you just don't like turn-based games.
I mean, I definitely don't, but like, is there something
It's one thing if you don't like them because you don't get them, or because you're like not good at it, you don't understand the strategy. We can overcome that. But if you just don't like it and it's just boring and you just can't get into it, then yeah, you probably won't like any of them.
No, I think it's more the strategy. Like when I played, remember way back when the demo came out for what's the game that you have on Switch? The beautiful 16-bit Octopath. So when I played that demo, I was like, Sean, I don't know what I'm doing. But I remember like on a podcast way back then, you told me about like, but you don't have to just like attack every time. You got to think, do this, blah, blah, blah. And I went back and did the demo again. In that last fight, I did better at it. I don't think it's that I don't like turn-based. I think it's like I'm impatient and I don't know the best way to actually play these games. Like when I've been playing through Final Fantasy VII regular, it's like I just keep, like we talked about, I just click in R3 and I'm like, limit break. Okay, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that, whatever. I just want, really for me, and it's probably, I think the main issue with Final Fantasy VII is like I love, from what I've seen, even with what I know changes now in the remake, I love this story. And I just want to see what their vision was for the original. I don't want to just read it on Wikipedia. I want to experience it, even though it's just text. Yeah. There's no voice acting or anything. You know what I mean?
But still, you have a totally different.
Oh yeah.
Connection to it when you experience it as opposed to just reading a synopsis or whatever.
But I did beat Final Fantasy VII Remake. If you want our spoiler-filled thoughts, go check out that podcast, like I said at the top. Before I reveal this beautiful mustache, I keep looking in the camera and all I see is Lalo. It's freaking me out, man. But overall, like I said in that podcast, this is far and away, it's not even close that this is my game of the year so far. Right now, I would say 2 is probably Resident Evil 3 with Doom Eternal close behind it, and then Twin Breaker and Top Run. There hasn't been a lot of new games. I am really interested in Trials of Mana. It's right around an 80 on Metacritic. It's a doable platinum. When I say doable, I mean around 40 hours. You have to play through the game 3 times because you have to get everybody's story. And I think you can only have 2 people in a party and you have to get all 6 stories. And the only other thing is you have to beat 1 boss on hard. But everything I was reading online is like, if you're leveled up, it's not that hard. And you can switch difficulty. So you don't have to play through the whole game on hard to get there. So I really think at some point I'm going to play Trials of Mana and get a platinum for that whenever it drops from 50, because 50 is way too much for that game. 40 maybe, but I think 30 is a sweet spot for that. But yeah, right now, I mean, do you agree? Is this easily your game of the year so far?
Yeah, and it's not even close. But I also don't know. I feel like I haven't really played much.
Yeah,
I mean, Final Fantasy's 1, Resident Evil's 2. Oh, honestly, Animal Crossing, I guess, is 3.
God damn it, I don't know. Sean.
I mean, but I don't. That's all I've played.
Okay, so go into my account and download Top Run, download Twin Breaker, and download Doom. I don't even know if it'll screw up my thing, but like Top Run, I did the nose thing that you did on Mario Maker, where it's like, I haven't seen the install pop on my PS4, so I'm not going back to Top Run, but I want you to try Twin Breaker for yourself. I think that's one of those that I will actually grind out and get the platinum. But I really, the one I really want you to try is Doom Eternal, and give it time, give it 4 or 5 hours. And, you know, once you get the flow of the combat and everything, I would really love to get your thoughts on that. But I also really, more than anything, and I'm not going to say Death Stranding, I want you to now play Uncharted 4. I'm not going to go play through it again, but I remember pretty much all the big moments. So just to hear you talk about it would be awesome for me. But yeah, honestly, like Final Fantasy VII Remake, coming from a noob who's only played the original for 45 minutes now twice, it's far and away my game of the year. It's, if I had to give it a score, I wouldn't give it a 10, but it's a solid 9.5.
Yeah, I think that's about where I'm at.
I'm there's definitely filler. We talk about in the spoiler cast, like the monkey bar stuff is annoying. There's like we said with the combat, while I love it, there are issues with it. And there's also just you can tell there's filler where it's like it's filler, but it's like it's filler for a reason. It's filler for character growth, which again the reason I love video games for the most part isn't the gameplay. Like Metal Gear Solid 3 is my favorite game of all time. The game doesn't play well. It doesn't. I will never try to convince you that it does. But to me, it's still, now I haven't beaten Final Fantasy VII regular, but to me, it's still the best story ever told in a video game. And I would think you would probably say it's at least top 5, if not top 3. But like that's what I want from way back when we were talking about doing like a nerd night talk here in Memphis. It was going to be why video games are the best storytelling medium. And to me, it's not even close. Like video games are better than books. They're better than movies because video games are, it's a give and a take. It's a push and a pull. Like you are interacting with the story and the story's pushing back on you. And that's what I love about video games more than anything. Like Mario 3, Mario World, Link to the Past, like Mario 1, all these games that just play perfectly. Yes, I love them. They're like some of my favorite games of all time. But for me, it's more the story. And that's why I'm so excited for Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 1. I think we know what Part 2 is going to be called. Would you agree based on the way it ends?
Yeah.
That title card. And that's kind of why I think maybe I'm probably just hoping against hope that we just get one more game and that fills out everything. But like I loved it's easily my game of the year because the story, the combat for the most part is amazing. But more than anything, it's the story, it's the cinematics and everything. That the cutscenes in this are just on another level. Now I get that the director of this is the Kingdom Hearts guy. Up until the very end, I would never think this game was directed by a Kingdom Hearts guy. Well, that's one question that I didn't bring up on the spoiler cast. Without going into spoilers, one of the things I've heard in videos, sorry, I hit the microphone, that I've been watching is that some people are complaining that it feels too much like Kingdom Hearts at the end. I know Jason touched on Kingdom Hearts a little bit. I can't remember what he said, but like, did this feel like you think it still felt Final Fantasy, right? More than Kingdom Hearts? I don't know.
It felt definitely more Final Fantasy than Kingdom Hearts. My only kind of somewhat little bit of slight
reservation.
Yeah, disappointment, whatever you want to call it with the game, is I had gotten my hopes up when I started playing. To me, it still doesn't feel, just from a total length, time, whatever, it's obviously a very big game. I mean, not a big game, but it didn't have that full, like, Final Fantasy arc kind of feel to it. It still felt like an incomplete game, which, I mean, it kind of is. There's a lot of, like, Final Fantasy is known for like optional stuff, and I feel like this game wasn't a whole lot of, I mean, there's side quests, but they're just like, there's not much of a reward for doing them. Usually the optional stuff gets you pretty cool stuff, or it's like a crazy accomplishment, beating Ruby or Emerald Weapon, whatever. This was just like, yeah, go talk to that guy and run around and find his kids or whatever. Like, it's nothing, none of it's big accomplishments. There's not really any great rewards for it. So I don't know. It still felt kind of incomplete. It didn't feel like a standalone, full-fledged Final Fantasy game.
Now, one question I have, I think this came up on our spoiler cast, but I didn't know what you're all talking about. But when I went back and watched a couple of these videos, they were talking about how I I don't think this is this is a spoiler, but in Shinra, you can do the like arena thing. There's a lot of those optional fights that I think you would really like. Gerard, the completionist, put out his Final Fantasy VII review over the weekend. It was 55 minutes, as longest video he's ever done, longer than Breath of the Wild. And I haven't watched it yet because I'll probably do it tomorrow. But he also put up a video that was like how to beat boss X in 15 minutes. And it's like the ultimate boss inside this Coliseum thing. And I think what I would love is if you were to go back, boot it up, and go to that chapter, get there. And I wonder if that thing would scratch the itch for the Emerald and Ruby and Sapphire and whatever else it is that you're used to in a Final Fantasy VII game. You know what I mean?
Yeah. See, I did everything when I was at the actual Coliseum in Wall Market, and then the similar thing in Shinra. I know I missed out on stuff in the Coliseum because I didn't even bother going while I had Aerith. I went back later in the game when I did not have Aerith, and there's like solo things. You can do stuff as Cloud, you can do stuff as Tifa, you can do stuff as Barrett, you can do stuff where you pick 2 people, and you can do stuff where you have your whole party. So I know there's some Aerith exclusive battles and stuff you can do there. And maybe once you do those, it unlocks like another tier or something where it's like really difficult, because none of these were very difficult. And that's kind of how the Shinra stuff was too, except I don't know how you can get there with who was I missing? I'm trying to think of because I didn't have Aerith yet. So I didn't have Aerith. I don't know if there's a way you can get there with Aerith. Because it's not like you can just go back and free roam. Like, you have to go back to that chapter.
Yeah, you got to go up
whatever
the stairs
was going
or the
on
elevator.
at that point is what you're going to be. So I don't know how you get there with Aerith. And I did everything that was there available for me. So I don't know how that stuff works.
I think I could be wrong, but
unless
I think
it's exclusive post-game content. If you go back after you beat it, then that unlocks stuff maybe.
Well, now remember going back like a month ago or something, we said they added in post-game stuff that I didn't understand because I've never played a Final Fantasy 7 or a Final Fantasy game period all the way to the end.
Yeah.
So maybe that's what it is. I don't know.
Maybe, yeah.
But now just hearing you say that, I'm like, maybe I should go back and play Remake some more. Like, I know I'm not going to get
I'm kind of tempted.
I'm not going to get the platinum. There's literally, I'm not good enough to beat this game on hard. There is no freaking way. But yeah, this is easily, it's not a 10 out of 10. I probably have more, my whole top 10 list is probably at this point 10 out of 10s. And probably like my top 15 are probably 10 out of 10s in my mind. So this isn't a 10 out of 10, but the more I've researched the ending and what it means for the future, I am more excited than ever. And it was so weird talking to you and Jason, because I think you were both on the same page. Like I said, I think you're both excited for what comes next, but there's apparently a big contingent of people that are like super pissed, without spoilers, at the last 30-40 minutes of this game, which to me, never having gotten through Midgar in 4 or 5 hours, whatever it is, in the original game, I am over the moon excited for what comes next. And after reading some of the backstory and the theories and stuff, I'm just, I don't know.
Yeah.
So
I don't know.
Yeah. Final Fantasy VII Remake is my game of the year to this point. Now that Last of Us Part 2 is actually coming out this year, we'll see. Apparently, the only thing I will say from the spoilers, some people are apparently really pissed off. But I wonder if they're pissed off.
For Last of Us?
Yeah. That they feel
that it was spoiled, or
no,
because of what happens?
They feel like, apparently they feel like, and I've seen this without seeing spoilers, they feel like Naughty Dog betrayed them. I don't know what that means, and I don't want to know what it means, but I'm just like, you're a bunch of idiots. You don't even know if this, like, obviously some of the stuff that got out there is real because Naughty Dog would not have commented on it, but right. I'm like, I'm just blocking all that out. I don't care. I just want this game in my hands. I want to beat it in 15, 20, 25 hours, whatever it is, and enjoy it. And I don't want it spoiled for me like Last of Us 1 was. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Sean,
Yes.
do you want to get the news of the week?
Let's do it.
So we missed out on this last week because of our recording schedule, but there was a huge Mario Maker update, which is the biggest update ever. There's a weird space in this section as I'm looking, and I wondered what Sean did to my copy. I had to check my watch because I just texted myself what the time code was for when to put in the breaking news thing. All right. This comes from Nintendo. Launching this, I'll editorialize here. Launching this past week on April 22nd, a free update to the Super Mario Maker 2 game for Nintendo Switch will add a new World Maker mode. In this mode, multiple courses created by a user can be tied together on a path on a world map from a starting point to the end castle. The look of the world map, Mass Effect 2 and 3 are on sale. The look of the world map can also be customized. Up to 8 worlds containing a total of 40 courses can be combined, creating a mini Super Mario game that can be shared with others. This is a PG podcast, so I'll just say F yeah. In addition to World Maker, guess who else is making an appearance? The Koopalings! All 7 of these devious troublemakers, each with his or her own moveset pattern, can be added to courses. Additional power-ups and course parts will also be added to Super Mario Maker 2 after downloading the update. Dash block, including the Super Mario, I knew you were thinking it, Super Mario 2 mushroom, which transforms Mario and friends into their look from Super Mario 2 and allows them to pick up and throw items and enemies, just like in that classic game. With a frog suit from Super Mario 3, Mario can swim through water with ease and even run across its surface. This is new, right?
That's new, yeah.
Okay. Other power-ups being added to the game are the power balloon, first introduced in Super Mario World. I'm pretty sure that was only introduced there. Am I wrong, or is that the only game that the power balloon was in? I can't think of another one, unless it's like a 3DS game that I haven't played.
Yeah, it may have just been some weird spin-off kind of game, but...
The Super Acorn from New Super Mario Bros. U, and the Boomerang Flower, as well as wearables like the Cannon Box and Propeller Box. So some bullet points here. What I've written down is, so you can create up to 8 worlds and 40 total courses. So if you do 8 worlds, you can only do an average of 5 courses per world. The Super Mario Bros. 2 mushroom is only available in the Super Mario 1 playstyle. That makes sense. The frog suit is only available in Super Mario 3. Sean, I see your green cursor there. The power balloon is only available in Super Mario World. The Super Acorn is only available in Super Mario Bros. U. We're going to have a dash block here. We're going to have a dash block.
Dash block, horse cart,
Remind me at 9 a.m. to tweet out.
Sorry.
Oh, you stupid. Remind me at 9 a.m. to tweet out the dash block.
Just a sec. Okay, added.
Thank you. So the Boomerang Flower, the Cannon Box, Propeller Box. So when I'm saying boxes, these are like, they're just the things you put on your head like Snake. Propeller Box, Goomba Mask, Bullet Bill Mask, and Red Pow Box are only in the Super Mario 3D World playstyle. This is super weird, but the Koopalings are available in every game style except 3D World. What? Did we not fight them? Like, I know we didn't get through the whole game when we did Mario Mondays for 3D World. But I could have. Wasn't there Koopalings in that?
I don't think they were in it. I think it was other weird.
Like an Odyssey or something?
Oh, maybe I'm thinking of Odyssey. I don't know. I don't remember if they were in.
I just thought that was odd.
But they weren't in World.
Yeah.
Oh, no, they were in World.
They were in World. What are you talking about?
They weren't in. Where did they come from? 3?
3.
They
yeah.
Were they in U? I mean,
yes.
new? new?
Apparently, because you can play them there. Yeah.
But I mean, they weren't in 1, and you can put them in this game. So I don't know.
Well,
It
that's
seems
true,
kind of
yeah.
arbitrary. Yeah, I don't know.
It's super weird. I don't understand it.
And they changed all the sprites.
Yeah.
Like, even though they were in World, they all look totally different in this one. And
Well, like remember, like when I did my my homage to the last level Mario 3, when you fought Koopa at the end, or Bowser, sorry. We both remember one time he jumped and he like looked like this and then this, and we both at the same time went,
there's like an extra frame of animation
we're like,
or something.
we were both like, yeah, that's not right. That is not right. He didn't have all those frames. The cursed key, so you can place a key somewhere. I don't think you have to be, well, you don't have to be, well, I don't know, because you can only pick it up if you're Mario 2 sprite, but
No, it's not. It works just like the normal keys. Like, it just floats behind you. You don't pick it up like you do in Mario 2. So I think it's only in Mario 1, just like
it is
Mario
only
2
Mario
is only in Mario 1.
Yep.
But you don't need to have the Mario 2 mushroom to get it or anything like that.
Right. The on-off trampoline is only in 3D World, and now 3D World, apparently you couldn't do this before. You can now do a dash block. No, not a dash block. You can now do a dotted line block. So that's weird that wasn't in 3D World before. It was.
Well,
in
the other weird
everything
thing,
else.
since everybody uses them, until this update, you couldn't do the red and blue on-off switches.
That's what I mean. Yeah.
Oh, is that what you're talking about?
That's what they're calling the dotted line block, which is weird, but yeah.
But okay, so yeah, but that is weird that those weren't in there already, since everybody uses them in everything. Yep. So, and they didn't even like mention that in that release video. They showed them, but they didn't even like call them out. And then
no, you had to look at the patch notes like I did to be like, wait, yeah. So on your local Switch, you can save up to 6 Mario worlds, but you can only upload 1 per account, is what I read. Is that true? So like if you make a world that's just one world, you have to delete that before you upload another one? That seems weird, but that's what the patch note said. So I haven't made a world yet. By the way, we do have plans whenever we're done with this whole safer at home stuff. I have plans. Sean has plans. I think it would be fun for both of us to play through each of our worlds, because when I get super frustrated and I want to kill myself playing Sean's levels, he can come in and just be like, well, this is how you beat it, and blah, blah, blah. But
so I've got 2 Zelda levels for you.
Right.
I've got my Mario World, which you already know what it is.
Yep. And I'm not going to say it.
And the other day I made a 3D World level using all the different, well, basically all the new power-ups and stuff. Okay. So I've got lots of stuff for you to play on Mario Maker.
Great. I will wait. I'm not. I'll do Zelda, but like, I'm not good at video games, and this can't last forever. I will say, I think this is Mario Maker's biggest update, wouldn't you say? Ever?
Probably. Yeah.
I mean, Mario Maker 2's biggest update, but like, it's awesome, but it's also super depressing that they said this is the last update, you know?
I mean, they keep saying it's the last big update, so it's possible there may be some other things like...
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think they're going to add new power-ups and stuff, but maybe there'll still be updates to...
Pink hair Link for Super Mario World, for crying out loud.
Yeah, I don't think you're getting that now, but... I don't know. The World Maker thing is cool. It could be better, but I get why it's not the way it is. Like, it would be kind of a massive overhaul, but if you could have multiple exits from your world, from your courses, I think
you
that
called
would be cool.
that like as soon as this came out. You texted me. Yep.
It doesn't really flow like a normal Mario game. Like, each level is just a standalone thing. It would be cool if you beat one level with a fire flower, you should start the next level with a fire flower, that kind of stuff. But that doesn't work because all the power-ups aren't the same through the game. So if you finish one level with the Mario 2 power-up and the next level is Mario World, where you're not going to be able to carry that over. So I get it, but there may still be like minor updates and little tweaks to fix things. But yeah, I don't think you're going to have another update anywhere near this.
So tell me if I'm right. Does this kind of seem like this is gonna say this isn't gonna make any sense, but does it seem like the dungeon maker from Link's Awakening, how it was kind of like obviously we've got Mario Maker already. They add this stuff to it, and it's like you can make your own worlds, but you can't really because stuff doesn't carry over. It's kind of like how Link's Awakening was like you can make your own dungeons, but all you can do is pick from all the screens that were already in dungeons. You know what I mean?
It's almost just a cool like visualization thing. The actual experience of it isn't a whole lot different than if you just went to my Maker page and just played this level and then played this one and then played that one. It's not a whole lot.
But your lives carry over.
Kind of feels disjointed. Yeah, so when you make your world, you say how many lives you want available. One cool thing is there are new bonus games. It's not all the little match 3 thing. There's 2 new ones. So I don't know if it's random, but like there's that, and there's at least 2 new ones that I've played. I don't know if that's it, but so it's cool. I mean, it's definitely fun, but I think whenever we get Mario Maker 3, I think they will have a legit. I think they'll think about all this stuff ahead of time and plan accordingly.
See, what I hope is that they think about all this when they make Zelda Maker.
Yeah.
I'm hoping against hope, but whatever. Next up, Sony and Guerrilla Games are apparently planning on a Horizon trilogy. I just saw my mustache. All right. Multiple sources have told VGC that Sony Interactive Entertainment has greenlit ambitious plans. You can tell I had some beers. For the goddamn
Dash block.
Post-apocalyptic. After the apocalypse, Guillermo open world franchise, which debuted in 2017 with 10 million selling Zero Dawn. This, what the frick? Did you do something, or is that how they wrote this?
I did not, but now I want to read it.
Amsterdam-based Guerrilla had always desired to deliver a series of Horizon games, and a multi-part script was written. But the plan was only officially agreed after the original game's strong debut on PS4. Dash block. Horizon is set on a far future Earth where nature has reclaimed the planet, but massive animal-like, no, I will change that to dinosaur-like machines rule the land. Zero Dawn follows the story of Aloy, one of the best characters ever, I will editorialize, a young woman on a quest to explore the ruins of the ancient past. The title was both a commercial and critical success, with the team going on to win the 2018 BAFTA Games Award for Original Property. The next installment, Horizon Zero Dawn 2, which I'm going to put that in quotes because I don't think that'll be the name, started development soon after the first game's successful release, sources said. Initially, the game was planned for PS4. However, it's thought that development has now entirely shifted focus to Sony's next-gen console. I will editorialize there, Sean, and say no dookie. Poop. Yeah, no poop. Horizon Zero Dawn 2 is said to be gigantic in scope, with a larger game world and more freedom to explore it than its predecessor. People with knowledge of the game also indicated the inclusion of a co-op feature, although it's not clear if this is delivered via the main story or a separate mode. At one point, Dashblock, Guerrilla was planning to release a standalone co-op game preview with progress carrying over to the later full version of Zero Dawn 2. One person involved told VGC. Maybe if it was an actual standalone co-op multiplayer game, but I mean, obviously I have no sources, but that just seems, I don't believe that. However, it's not clear if those plans are still in place, so there you go. Co-op is a feature Guerrilla has long intended to introduce to the series, and it's understood PlayStation was equally keen to see online functionality implemented in the sequel. A co-op feature was initially planned for the first game, but was ultimately scrapped so the development team could focus on other areas of the title. Zero Dawn concept art that leaked in 2014, verified by VGC, even shows initial plans to have multiple players battle the game's huge mechanical beasts, also known as dinosaurs. Gorilla. This is like when I told you Max was like criminal. Gorilla's work on a sequel has recently been suggested by a series of job advertisements, which mention an open world game featuring quests and creatures. I keep seeing my freaking mustache and it's messing me up. PlayStation has even made possible references to how the PS5's innovative controller, Sean, give me some props here, controller could impact gameplay in Horizon. System architect Mark Cerny, the Dirty, and CEO Jim Ryden, have said the DualSense's adaptive triggers will help players feel the tension of their actions, like, quote, like when drawing a bow to shoot an arrow. Sean. A PC version of Horizon Zero Dawn and a comic prequel that are set after the events of the first game will be released this summer, possibly leaking into the sequel. Sean Layden in 2017 confirmed that Horizon Zero Dawn was a franchise the platform holder was intended to leverage into the future. Quote, Guerrilla co-founder Herman Hulse has got a very keen mind on where he wants to take Horizon and what the roadmap is, and that roadmap is expressed in multiple years, he told The Telegraph. I think we'll be in the Horizon business for a long time. Sony Interactive Entertainment did not respond to requests for comment. Sean. This was big news, but to me, I always figured like Horizon would at least be a trilogy. I don't know if you feel like I do, but like, I'm glad this came out. I still think, I don't know that Horizon will actually be a launch game, as I've said, but I feel like it'll be a launch, quote unquote, window game, like maybe by
I think by summer of next year for sure.
Exactly. Like Q1, Q2, 2021. Like if they come out at non-E3 this year and they blow out the PS5, or if it's before that, if it happens in May, like we'll talk about here with Xbox here in a minute, it seems like both consoles will come out this fall / holiday, whatever you want to call it. There's going to be enough games. There's going to be Maddens. There's going to be Ubisoft games like Watch Dogs Legion. Like I've said, ever since it got delayed, I said, oh, that's a PS5 launch game. All the reports are saying I was right. They're not saying Kevin was right. They're saying it's a launch game. I do wonder what that means for Gods and Monsters, because that game, that if you remember, Sean, that's the Breath of the Wild looking Ubisoft game that I cannot wait to play because it looks like Breath of the Wild. I think Sony would be, it's in their best interest to somehow have Horizon 2, whatever it's called, ready at launch. But obviously Microsoft and, 343 has been working on Halo Infinite way longer than Guerrilla has been working on Horizon 2, whatever it's called. But just the fact that like this is actually confirmed, the co-op thing is like, I don't care. I assume it will be, obviously it's not going to be like integral to the story. Like if you and I want to get online and play Horizon 2 co-op and knock out some missions and level up and do whatever, I assume we can do that. But I don't think they're not dumb enough to say to beat the story you have to play co-op. There's like, if they do that, yeah. So what do you think? Like, did you think Horizon was always going to be a trilogy at least? What do you think about these reports?
It's cool to hear, but I tend to just assume everything's going to be a trilogy as long as I feel like if you get one and then you get a two, I generally just assume there's going to be a third, sometimes a fourth. I'm not super surprised, but it's cool to hear, I guess. I'm curious what this co-op is going to be. Are they going to introduce another main character that you can play as? I feel like it's going to be more, I don't know. I don't think of it as being true co-op. Like, I feel like the second player's role is going to be, I think you have one person who's Aloy and another person who, I don't know, is like
or whatever
driving a vehicle or something, like it's just, I don't think it's going to be true co-op. I mean, maybe, but.
So the art that leaked, and I don't have it here, but it was from 2014. The game came out in 2017, by the way. So this was super early in development, but it was Aloy like jumping over a brontosaurus or something and doing this. And there's a guy with a gun looking at the brontosaurus and another guy with like a crossbow or something looking at the brontosaurus. Like, I think it is more if they do it, I don't think any of it is story based. I think it's more just it's a way for you if you want to level up or something, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm excited either way. I'm still going to make my prediction that Horizon 2 is a launch game. I just think that regardless of what I said earlier, like Halo Infinite's coming out. I know it's cross-gen. You can play it on the Xbone or the Series X. But I feel like just because that's there, Sony has to have something to entice people to make that jump from the 4 to the 5. So we'll see.
Yeah.
Speaking of the Series X, there is a rumor that Xbox has a next-gen showcase rumor to happen in May. Apparently, this is not due. They're going to do a reveal of Sean. Remember when we talked about Lockhart forever ago? So it's supposedly a less powerful Series X, which I don't know. I honestly don't know that I believe this because Microsoft has been so transparent and they've talked so much about what's happening with the Series X that I feel like if there was going to be 2 SKUs, I kind of feel like they would have done it before now. But the rumors are saying that we will get a reveal of the Lockhart. The Lockhart is rumored to only be 4 teraflops and have limited next-gen features. We don't know what those features are. 4 teraflops, by the way, would be like 3 times more powerful than the PS4 Pro. But limited next-gen features, I don't know what that would be because their next-gen features, I don't remember hearing a lot about it. Like that, like all they've talked about is teraflops. Am I wrong?
Right. Well, that's why this sounds weird to me. Like,
yeah,
for a company that's just all about the flops, I can't believe they would release a next-gen system that's only got 4 teraflop. Like, you're either all about it or like, like, I don't know.
Yep.
I don't buy that. I mean, it may be a, quote unquote lower version of the Series X. I don't know that I buy 4 teraflops and limited next gen. At that point, what's the point? You're just basically
why even do it? Just get an Xbox One. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, something seems weird about that.
Yeah, I agree. This is odd. So there's the rumors also saying that there will be news on upcoming games, including Halo Infinite and the Fable reboot. Dash block. At this point, like, I don't even remember what year Halo Infinite was announced, but all they have shown is CG. They have not shown 1 second of gameplay. And this is kind of what I was bitching about before Gears 5 released last year. It's like you go through E3 and you've got this like, oh, here comes our camera and it goes like this and it goes into the floor. And then you're like, here's multiplayer CG shit. And it's like, PG podcast, you're not listening. Like you don't actually show any of the game. And it's like people are dying. Like if you follow Colin and Chris Raygun is a huge Halo fan. And he's tweeted multiple times, like, I'm going to kill myself if you don't just show some kind of gameplay from Halo Infinite. And at this point, if this game is actually coming out holiday 2020, they have got to show something either in May or at 93 in June. Otherwise, this game is vaporware.
How long did we keep hearing about and seeing bits and pieces of Death Stranding before we finally saw gameplay?
And then when we saw gameplay, Sam was like, By the way, it's $25 on Amazon, or the other day it was. I don't know if it still is, but yeah. But then Phil Spencer responded to a fan who asked, hi, Xbox P3 at Xbox P3. How are you feeling about the eventual reveals of new games and new info on the Series X later this year? How is planning going? By the way, he said, how are you feeling about blah, blah, blah with a period? Good job, dude. Xbox. There are definitely a lot of hungry fans out here. Phil Spencer replied, reviewed plans yesterday. This was on April 23rd for continued sharing through launch. Team is doing great work and adapting. This feels like it's just an AI responding, honestly. I've never been more excited about Xbox plans. We've heard you. You want transparency / authenticity, space. We plan to keep showing. We plan to, wow. We plan to keep showing that way, comma. Next step is not too much of a wait, games. Now when I actually read this, I'm like, was this an actual tweet?
Did Cortana write this? Like, what is this?
This was an actual tweet from his account. Now I don't know how much weight. Now that I actually read this, I'm like, I don't know how much weight I put into
too much of a weight.
Games. I've never been more excited about Xbox plans, period. We've heard you, comma. You want transparency / authenticity. Space. We plan to keep showing that way. Keep showing that way. I think Phil got hacked. But, you know, regardless, you know by now, Matt, I'm sorry. We're not Xbox guys. We never will be. But I want both next-gen consoles to freaking knock it out of the park. I do, because I want an Xbox 3 and a PS6 to happen. I don't want it to just be an app on my Apple TV or something. Like, I don't want that. So I want this gen to even be more successful than next gen. I really doubt that'll happen. I don't know how Sony's going to sell more than 110 million PS4, sorry. But you never know. So, yeah. Any thoughts, Sean?
Yeah.
NPD results are in for March. Number 1, of course, was this freaking Animal Crossing's New Horizons. Number 2, Call of Duty Modern Warfare. Number 3, MLB The Show 20. Holy crap. Number 4 somehow was Resident Evil 3 in March. This game came out on April 3rd. I tweeted Nibel after he tweeted this. He didn't write me back because I'm just, a puke stash, like Bob Mackey would say. I don't get it, but like, why did that even chart? I don't know. Number 5, NBA 2K20. Number 6, Doom Eternal. That worries me that it was only number 6. Like behind NBA 2K and MLB, like a Sony exclusive still, at least
behind a game that didn't come out till April.
Like, what? Persona 5 Royal was number 7. GTA 5 was number 8 because life. Borderlands 3 was number 9. I need to breathe. My watch tells me. And Mario Kart 8 Deluxe was number 10. However, Assassin's Creed, Animal Crossing, damn it, was the 3rd best-selling Nintendo game, literally, Sean, ever, behind Smash Ultimate and Smash Brawl. I want to kill myself reading this, and you are part of the problem.
I think I get the appeal. Like,
I don't.
I get it.
I hate everything about this game. I am so sick. It's been out for like a month and a half now, and these freaking people on Twitter are still tweeting about this damn stupid game. And I'm like, all you do is you boot it up, you walk around, and you sell turnips, and you fly to somebody's island, and then you sign up. Like, what the hell? This is a mobile game, like we talked about a few weeks ago. All I can see to me, and then I'll let you butt in. I know I cut you off. This is a mobile game that you've paid $60 for, and I don't see... If I bought this game, I would be livid right now. I don't understand this game. I can't even say that I get it. Like, it's the 2nd best-selling game this year so far, behind Call of Duty. I would think after April, it's probably going to pass because you're all psychopaths. It's the best-selling Animal Crossing game ever already, and it had a better launch than any Zelda or Mario game, and I want to throw up in my mouth and then swallow it so that I feel the pain. Go defend it, Sean.
Oh, I'm not defending it, but, no, I guess I'm not. I just think this game, more than any other thing, as bad as it sounds, benefited from COVID.
Yeah.
It's people just sitting in their house and they can't leave. Well, what am I going to do? I guess it's just a game that you can just pick up and just play every day. Something new is different every day. And I think if COVID hadn't happened, it would not have sold. I mean, it still would have sold a lot because it's Animal Crossing, but It would not be number 1 for March.
What I will say, though, so Justin Davis brought this up either this week or last week on Game Scoop. he said what a lot of people, I just threw up in my mouth a little bit, and I asked for that, so I can't be mad. He said some people are playing this game wrong. He said that apparently in the Animal Crossing community, with all you psychopaths, that Animal Crossing is meant to be played in small doses over a very long period of time, and that actually, while the quarantine, which we know it's not a quarantine, the stay-at-home isolation, whatever you want to call it, is driving sales up. What he was saying is that he thinks, and I don't remember if other people were telling him this or this was his thoughts, but that like people are kind of playing this game, quote unquote, wrong, because Animal Crossing is meant to be played over weeks and months and maybe years. I don't know. So that you experience the different seasons, the different events, all this other stuff that
It's
now that
supposed to be,
everybody's,
the time travel thing kind of ruined it for me, honestly, because now I feel like since I know everybody's doing it, I'm like, well, I have to also. But it's just so much freaking work to, like, if I could just go in and know that I can do everything I need to do in the game that I can do in that day in like 45 minutes or something, I'd be more likely to play it every day than just, or I can just sit and play for like 5 hours at a time and just keep time traveling and time traveling and time traveling and get all this fruit and sell it and find tarantulas and sell them and find these things and hand them over to the Blathers guy.
Nook.
Like,
okay.
So I don't know. I agree. I mean, who's to say what's right and wrong, but I do think the time travel thing kind of ruined it.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm kind of losing interest. I may pick it up again at some point, but like now that I know, like I see on Twitter all the time, people are, "Ooh, look at my island. I've got roads and all this stuff." I'm like, well, that's kind of cool, but I'm like, I would have rather just been not had that spoiled and just play, and then all of a sudden, after I've been playing for months, all of a sudden I can get them. Now, whereas now I'm like, oh, that's coming up. Oh, that's cool. I'd like to get that. I better get back to time traveling, and it's just not fun. I don't know. I think it has. I'm not going to say what's right or wrong, but I think it's just kind of lame. I think it's kind of ruined it.
Yeah. I will never. At this point, if Nintendo gave me a code, I would say I'm going to do it in a giveaway because I don't want to play this stupid ass game. Also, when it comes to hardware, the Switch doubled its sales from last March. That's crazy. I guess. Thank you, COVID. That's a joke. Don't get mad at me. All three consoles were up March over March. The PS4 and Xbox One were both up 25%. Switch set the all-time record for March sales, beating their launch month in March 2017. It was also the highest quarter one sales for any console since the Nintendo DS 10 years ago in 2010. So Nintendo, Sony, Microsoft are like, thank you, coronavirus. We appreciate it.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
I tell you what I want, and
What's that?
I'm not the only one. Because of this quarantine crap, I've been looking to get Ring
Death
Fit.
Stranding. Well, get it then.
You can't. It's sold out everywhere. You need to buy it on eBay, and people are selling it for like $300.
Oh my God.
Not
I hate
on Amazon.
people.
It's not on Walmart, Target.
Okay.
I look a couple times a week. I've not come across it anywhere. It's eBay or bust, and it's like
well,
$200
I would let
to
you
$300.
I would let you borrow mine, but every couple times a week I walk downstairs and Casey is drenched in sweat going So Casey and Nick are freaking loving it. I haven't used it since you and I played it whenever it was, probably at Christmas, I guess.
It was Christmas or New
Yeah,
Year's.
the day after or something. Yeah. Yeah. So I would give you mine, but Casey would fight you for it. All right, Sean, you want to get the wrap up?
Sure.
Death Stranding on PC has been delayed until July 14th because somebody at Kojima Productions got COVID-19, so they shut the studio down. They delayed it for a month. Please be excited. Sean, please play this freaking game. Sean.
Yeah.
Play Uncharted 4.
That I'll play.
Okay, good. Red Dead Redemption 2 is coming to Xbox Game Pass console on May 7th. It replaces GTA 5. This is a hell of a deal for this boring ass game where you shovel poop and walk around without cars. Pac-Man Championship Edition 2 is free on PS4, Xbone, and Steam until May 10th. I downloaded it. I haven't played it yet. Sean, I guess you haven't played it either?
No, I don't even know why you told me to download. Is it literally just Pac-Man? I don't know.
It's Pac-Man, but it's like the levels change and they go horizontal or vertical, and there's like extra ghosts or something. It's supposed to be. I think the first Championship Edition is supposed to be better than 2, but I've heard this game is still pretty fun. So I was like, it's free. I just want it in my library. I'll get to it at some point. I'm not going to get a platinum. I don't even know if it has a platinum, but it's supposed to be fun. So yeah. The Xbox Series X logo was revealed in a trademark filing, and it says Series X. So all you Xbox fanboys making fun of the PS5 logo reveal, your Series X logo says Series X. WWE 2K21 was officially canceled. Instead, a quote arcade-style brawler, 2K Battlegrounds, developed by Deep Silver, I think, is revealed coming out this fall. I wrote down here my notes. It looks absolutely horrible. John Cena gets thrown into a crocodile. I don't appreciate that much. There's dragon punches and sonic booms, and Charlotte Flair. Charlotte Flair is like 2 feet tall with a head that's 3 feet wide. So I don't know about this game, but like when I heard they were canceling 2K1, I was like, oh, please just give us something like, at this point, I would settle for like WWE Superstars or whatever that game was 5, 6, 7 years ago. I think that was PS3 and Xbox 360, but I'm not sure. But something that's in the vein of No Mercy, and we're never going to get it. So screw us, fans. Hopefully the AEW game is good whenever it comes out. Sean.
What's up?
Did you know it's that time of the week when we play the It's the back of the box
Challenge.
I don't know if we synced up or not, but I was definitely
We
ahead
did.
of you.
I mean, on my end.
Okay, then I think we synced up.
But that's
on
not
my
what
end,
matters.
and on my end, I was like ahead of you, and I was like, I don't care. I'm just going for it.
Well, I think what you hear is what the people will hear. But on my end, I was in sync with you.
Challenge. The back-to-box challenge is how we end the podcast when we want to here on the Two-Player Co-op podcast. What we do is we take a look at a previously released retail version of a game. We read the back-to-box aloud to the other player. We bleep out any pertinent information that would give the game away or make it way too obvious. Then the other player gets to ask some questions and try to figure out if they can figure out what the back-to-box game is. And that's the game. Sean.
I think you read first.
Yes. And I am ready. Are you ready?
Are you ready?
If you thought blank went to the edge of blank, power blasting sensory insanity, then prepare yourself. You're about to plunge over the edge and into the depths of blank. Suddenly warped into the outer reaches of the, I'll just say this because I don't know what this is, Zeta Aquila system. Your new mission sends you into the black depths of treacherous alien minds. You blast through
Descent? Or Descent 2 or something?
I hate you so much. You blast through enemy robots with powerful new tools, leaving their flaming hulks in your exhaust. Your ultimate goal to exterminate the alien robot stronghold. I was hoping I was going to get far enough into this and you would think it was a Metroid game.
I can't believe they have not brought this game back to life.
Well, now remember, they kickstarted a new Descent game, but either it didn't hit the Kickstarter or it hit and they just bailed on everybody. I don't remember what it was.
Really?
I don't even remember that. Well, there was a new Descent game, but then there was a spiritual successor, which was by the people that actually made the first 2 games. But I don't remember what was the good one, what was the bad one, what came out, what didn't. It's kind of like Myst, the original developers of Myst came out with, I think it was Oblivion, was like the spiritual successor to Myst. But, yep. This was a long back the box, so I'm kind of glad you got it because I got to pee. But do you remember, I'm
Wait,
pretty
so was it Descent 2?
It was 2, yeah.
Okay.
I really feel like I don't think my nostalgia overrates these games. I feel like both of them were awesome. There was a third one though, wasn't it? But it wasn't called Descent 3. Was it kind of like a Final Doom thing or something? Or am I crazy?
I only remember 1 and 2,
Okay.
but it's possible.
These games were so good. Do you know when it came out?
2?
Yeah.
1998?
6. So I assume the
Jeez.
first one came out in 5, and this came out a week later, a year later.
Wow.
All right. Well, I hope you gave me an easy one because that sucked.
I think it's going to be easy.
The first trailer came out in 1995, and it came out in 96. Okay, go.
Okay. You don't play it.
It plays
It-
you.
Yeah. Do you know what it is?
No.
Okay. Lock and load as you jump into this adrenaline rush. Blank, the hero from Blank,
So
awakes
it's a series.
awakes from his cryogenic sleep to find himself in the clutches of his old enemy, the Blank.
Calamity Ganon?
No.
Okay.
With your heart in your throat, battle through a
Blank.
3-dimensional labyrinth spanning 13 levels and endless sublevels. Feel the terror as you and Blank move through the dark, enemy-infested hallways and
Is this a
Blank's-
sequel?
Yes.
Okay. Is it a sequel or is it kind of like a spin-off made by Rare on the N64?
It's a sequel.
Okay.
What were you thinking?
Perfect Dark.
Oh. Feel the terror as you and Blank move through dark, enemy-infested hallways and
Oh,
Blank's.
is this a Capcom game?
No.
God damn it. Okay.
In the hopes of finally vanquishing the dreaded Blanks. And then there's some bullets.
So is this the second in the series or later?
Second.
N64 game?
No.
PC?
No.
PlayStation?
Yes.
Second in a series. Okay, that's interesting. So is it first person?
No.
But it's a 3D game.
Yes.
Did this series originate on the Super Nintendo?
No. Well, yeah.
Well, as well as the Genesis?
Yeah.
Do you are you a human?
Yes.
Oh, well, crap. Is it licensed?
No.
Did the series continue past this?
No.
Oh, damn. Okay, so it started on Super Nintendo and Genesis,
That is correct.
and it ended on the PlayStation
That is correct to my knowledge.
and the Saturn, or just PlayStation?
I don't think it was out on Saturn.
Not Capcom. Is it Konami?
No.
Well, okay. I got nothing else. Let's focus on the original game, Sean. It's not licensed. Was the original game a side scroller?
Yes.
Do you shoot things?
Yes.
Is that your only form of attack?
It's your main primary form of attack.
But it's side scrolling. Okay.
We're talking about the original now.
Right.
Okay.
Right. I'm trying to picture a Super Nintendo or Genesis game that went to PlayStation and then stopped. And I don't like it. Okay. The actual game, is it based in some sort of reality that we would consider to be real?
I mean, you're a human, but besides that, there's a lot of like
In 1996,
sci-fi
was it
type stuff.
okay? Is it a Midway game?
No.
So it's not Capcom, not Konami, not Midway.
Right.
What's the bullet points?
Feel the terror as you and blank move through dark enemy infested. Oh wait, I already read that part. Dark enemy infested hallways and alien space stations.
But it's not licensed?
No.
Was there a sequel to Zero Tolerance that I don't know about?
One Tolerance.
Wait, is this a Doom game?
No. All right, bullets. Highly detailed player-controlled animation. High-tech weapons, pistols with different shell types, and explosive mine mechanisms.
Is the developer still in business?
Not that I know of. A radio-controlled reconnaissance droid to help get through the levels.
Would I kick myself in the ass if I don't get this game?
Yes.
Wait, but it's not first person, right?
Correct. Outwit devious blanks.
Oh, wait a minute, you son of a biscuit. Did this game scare you half to death when you were a little baby? Is it Fade to Black?
It is.
God, okay, read that again because that didn't sound at all like Fade to Black.
So pretty much everything I bleeped out was Conrad and morphs.
Okay.
Lock and load as you jump into this adrenaline rush. Conrad, the hero from Flashback, The Quest for Identity, awakes. I feel like it should be awakens from his cryogenic sleep to find himself in the clutches of his old enemy,
spaceship.
The moops. I mean, the morphs.
Moops, Jerry. Yeah.
With your heart in your throat, battle through a 3-dimensional labyrinth spanning 13 levels and endless sublevels. Feel the terror as you and Conrad move through the dark enemy-infested hallways and alien space stations in the hopes of finally vanquishing the dreaded morphs. I
think of all games on the PS1/PC, it's funny that we both did a PC game that probably came out the same year. This is the game that I wish more than any I could go back and play because I don't know if it's nostalgia and it's you being so scared.
I mean, it's on PlayStation. I mean, maybe you can buy it. I don't know.
I mean, you
definitely PC game, forget about it. I don't know how you would ever play it again. But
we'll see. But the problem is, so like on the
I'm
Pi,
gonna look at the PS Store now.
Yeah. So on the Pi, it's hard to emulate PS1 games and Saturn games and N64 games. At least the Pi that I have, it doesn't work. You can do it, but remember when we looked at No Mercy, like it was like there was like 2 of Austin or 2 of every wrestler. It was odd. But this is the one game from that era that I'm like, I wish I could go back and play this, and I also wish they would remaster it and re-release it. So.
Yeah, it is not on the PlayStation Store, unfortunately.
Well, that's because Sony sucks. Again, we're not just fanboys here. That's it for episode 180. Thank you guys so much for being here. If you didn't know, we are part of the Nerd 901 family. So go to nerd901.com for all things nerdy in Memphis and around the multiverse. Check out youtube.com/BrotherWithoutFear to check out our brother from our other mother, Ernie. You know, all the other stuff. I'm on Twitter. I'm at KevinWhite24. He's at Real Sean White. Together we're at 2player_co-op _. I hope you've enjoyed my mustache. It's the last time you'll ever see it for sure, at least by itself. This has been a good episode, but Sean, until the next time, why don't you go ahead and take us out?
Thank you for playing.